Well, this warmer weather often means more and more folks floating the Truckee River. This year, Reno Fire says flows aren't anything out of the ordinary except around Wingfield Park, where construction is happening on the Arlington Bridges project. Jaden Urban caught up with the water entry team to see why it's so dangerous.
The Truckee River is cold and moving quick, which is not out of the ordinary rolling into the summer months. But first responders are asking those who want to enjoy it to stay away from the Wingfield Park area.
We've diverted the river into one channel, and it's going to be that way for the whole summer. So the effect of that is, even though we're on kind of average for flows, it feels like it's 2 or 3 times higher than normal just because we've lessened the channel that water has to flow down.
The north channel, which is the one that's closed, was typically the one where first responders say the flows were quicker. The southern channel was where firefighters recommended folks to bring their families. Reno Fire says that this area is now extremely dangerous, especially due to willows beneath the water. Bernard says if you get caught up in one of those, you could be in trouble.
If you happen to be underwater when you get pinned, you're pretty highly likely that you're going to drown before we can get to you. So avoid those willows, try and get in those big eddy pools, and biggest of all, just kind of avoid Wingfield Park this year.
But if you find yourself in a sticky situation, first responders say to get to shore as quickly as you can and to find an eddy where things are much calmer.
In an ideal situation, we'd like to rescue you on that slow-moving water part. See how it's curving back around? That's slack water. It's easier to get patients out of there.
That calmer body of water is known as the eddy, and you'll be much safer in there and away from the faster flows. Because even further from here underneath the bridge, it gets even worse.
And at these flows, it's pretty hazardous. And the real hazards are just below this section. So if you get swept away here, you get swept into some pretty nasty stuff.
Reno Fire recommends that if you want to float the river, to get out at Idlewild Park before things get dicey near the construction. Covering the story, Jaden Urban, 2 News Nevada.